Live from the 607 is the world-famous Ocho Duro Parlay Hour, where we're talking sports, locally, nationally. Hit us up on the social media, hashtag ODPH, because I'm looking at my clock, and right now it's about time to start the show. And welcome back to another edition of the ODPH, the Ocho Duro Parlay Hour. I'm your host, Ken M., and sitting in our brand new studio right across from me is the sound guy galore, JR.
Oh, you know I'm right here.
I gotta say, Jay, this has got to be like a throwback episode. Because,
you know what? It is.
Because, unfortunately, Coach Duffy and Padawan Jay are not in the studio. We don't have any other guests. It's just JR and I talking sports. This is like episode 1. So, dare I say, are we going to throw it back like that? No. We got to talk about our locks and leaps. There was some games going on this weekend that were kind of a little wild and crazy, but we got to go locks and leaps. And my lock, unfortunately, did not come through. I don't know if the curse of Miami. Jay Cutler decided to transform into somebody. Tom Brady and the boys did not show up for Monday night, and the Miami Dolphins pulled off. You got to say it's an upset over the Patriots.
Considering that Miami went into that game as a 10.5-point dog at home, mind you, getting 3 for the home team, and they still go in as a 10.5. That's a big upset there.
I don't know if it's just the Patriots were looking ahead to this week, which is very uncharacteristic.
Well, if you ask Bill Belichick, no.
Yeah.
Because the press conference said it all, which was amazing. Do you think the team was looking ahead? Please.
Yeah.
Please.
And that, yeah.
What questions are?
Yeah, exactly. You know Belichick's not going to say it, but it looked it. It absolutely looked it. Brady had one of the worst games he's had in a long time. The defense couldn't stop anything, and Jay Cutler was lighting them up.
I don't think I've seen Jay Cutler smile in 7 years.
No, I can't remember the last time I've seen.
I'm pretty sure it was Michael Wilbon who actually said the last time he saw Jay Cutler smile was when he got his $100 million deal in Chicago.
Quite possibly.
That was the last time that you saw Jay Cutler smile. And then actually and like you said, Monday night, you actually saw him throw a touchdown. He like smirked, and it was like, wow, emotion from the emotionless Jay Cutler.
Well, I think because when
impressive.
When they knew they were taking it to New England, and I know who predicted that they were going to do that?
He's throwing dimes in there too.
He was playing at like Madden All-Pro.
Yeah.
And the rest of the team was on rookie level. It was just very uncharacteristic to watch him. And I've seen a lot of Patriots football. Being a Bills fan, you kind of see what they do and how they tear apart your team. To see the Dolphins pull up the upset is absolutely crazy. But I kind of think that the Patriots were looking ahead to this week because, there's a lot at stake for this week's game against Pittsburgh.
The thing I love about it, too, is so they lose, right? Mm-hmm. And the first thing they talk about is Father Time. Is Father Time catching Brady finally? Is he slowing down? He's had 1 touchdown in 2 games to the 4 picks. Is he slowing down? Is Father Time finally touching the untouchable Tom Brady? No, he just looked bad on the road.
No, he just had a bad game.
But that's the first thing that they go to is the fact, well, he's 40. Is he finally slowing down? Is it the travel, the wear and tear? No, it's not. And they even said before the game that, what was it? They've lost like 4 of their last 5 in Miami before go that night. So it's like,
well, everybody's waiting for the shoe to drop with Brady because he's playing at such a high level at his age, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just very uncharacteristically, this happens in sports. Mm-hmm. Usually, you hit a certain age level and your skill level declines. It's not unheard of, but I think everybody's waiting for Brady to do it. And if Brady does something very un-Brady-like, the sky is falling and it's over, and pack up the shop.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like you said, what was it, the first drive? Brady throws downfield to Brandon Cooks and it's picked, and everybody's like, it's an underthrown ball that was picked. Like, Father Time, here we go.
Yeah, like all
it's
of a
like,
sudden,
no. It's an underthrown ball. It is what it is.
Yeah, it's like every quarterback throws an interception every now and then.
Yeah, sorry he has 24 touchdowns and 5 picks on the year for a man who's 40.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's he's really looking bad.
Yeah, he had a bad game. I don't think you'll see the same thing happen in Pittsburgh, albeit if it does, there's going to be a lot more questions getting raised because that game has a lot of stakes to it. Number 1 seed for the AFC, I believe.
Yep, absolutely.
That's going to be a major, major, major game of the week. One definitely fun to watch. It always is now. But we'll see what happens with the Pats going forward. Speaking of a team going forward, my leap came through to the chagrin of Nostradamus. Jacksonville Jaguars. I think are for real.
Damn it, Ken.
Yep. The dog was not too happy I was right about the prediction, but I tell you, Jacksonville's defense, and I was saying this at the beginning of the preview show way back when, you can download it on iTunes. Jacksonville's defense is no joke. They have spent a lot of draft picks and fine-tuning to get that to where it needs to be, albeit the offense, still a lot of questions, still not sold on the quarterback situation. But when you have a stud running back like Leonard Fournette, who lit it up for, 100 and a touchdown?
101 and a touch, yeah.
That will help you out immensely. Will it make a deep run in the playoffs? Time will tell.
My question, like you said, though, that's the big asterisk with Jacksonville is their defense is looking lights out. One of the top 5 in the NFL. I mean, that defense is no joke. Mm-hmm. And they put a lot of money into it, which is showing, obviously.
Oh, yeah, you're getting your investment back.
But like you said, it's so hard because it's like, okay, so when they go into a playoff game, granted, this will not be their first playoff game, but it's like, you're telling me in an AFC title game, Big Ben versus Blake Bortles, you really going to trust the gunslinging Blake Bortles to outshine Big Ben in Pittsburgh? For that matter, Brady in Foxborough?
No, you can't.
I don't know about you, but no.
You can't.
And no fault. I mean, Jacksonville hasn't been there in a while, but again, I mean, if you get that experience, then maybe. But, the like you said, the wildly inconsistent Blake Bortles is, one game he looks good.
Yeah.
And then the next game he's got 140 yards and 2 picks, and you're like, what do we do with him?
Yeah, where do you go? I mean, the only thing that you can do in that kind of situation, but coaches will be smart enough to plan for it, is they're not going to throw the ball ever.
Feed Fournette.
Yeah, it'll be Fournette
the monster
every play.
Yeah.
Because if you can keep a Brady or a Big Ben or a Drew Brees, an elite quarterback off the field and get them out of their timing, get them, where they're coming in and not feeling pressured, obviously, but where they really got to kind of pick up the pace, get the offense going for their squad. If you can keep them off the field, that's going to be a big feather in your cap. If you have a stud running back that can help, eat up the clock, you'll do it.
Oh, yeah.
You'll do it, in a heartbeat. And it's shown to work. Can Jacksonville do this? It remains to be seen. But I got to say, you got to like what you see out of their defense, and they're not afraid of anybody, which not saying any team is, but they're going in there with kind of a certain swagger to them that they are feeling that they can win every single game they play.
And like you said, to that point, is it's refreshing to see too. It's like you're really pulling for this dog because you're like, finally, it's almost like the 76ers. Like you're pulling that this process is actually working, and it's getting somewhere, and we're making headway, and it's working, and it is. So I mean, it's number one after week 13. So it's something's clicking down there, and it's looking good.
Something's buying into it, and like I said, the sky's the limit for where they can go. But albeit when they kind of face a veteran team like a Pittsburgh or a New England,
yep,
that's where it's going to, where are we at?
That road game is going to be really interesting. Like you said, if it comes down to the, an AFC title game, or you've got to go in Foxborough in January.
Yeah,
I tell you what, you better get your big boy shoes on.
And if you got to go to a certain stadium, you were at one this past Sunday.
Oh, baby, yes, I was. I'm going to tell you. Setting Jacksonville aside, going back to the locks and leaves, I did say Pittsburgh was my lock, more so because I'm not a Flacco fan. I think it's a $144 million bust, but that's me. He actually looked good, which was a little surprising.
He always plays well against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but I have to say that stadium is gorgeous. I'm going to give a shout out to it. I mean, Skull Nation, stand proud. I'm not switching sides. I would never switch sides. Skull Nation runs through the veins. However, man, Heinz Field is awesome. And I tell you what, when those towels get rocking, that is one gnarly scene, man. I'm not even going to front. That is a crazy, crazy building to be in. The environment's crazy. The fans are true. It was unbelievable to be there and be surrounded by all these terrible towels. I have one. Because you got one at the game.
There's no shame in it.
You can't not have one. And
no,
I certainly wasn't going to start waving my arms like a raven. That wasn't going to happen. But it was.
I was just worried that you were going to wear something purple down there, and then people were going to think that you were cheering for the Ravens. No, that was my big fear for you.
Shout out, though, to the guy I did come across who wore a Fran Tarkenton Vikings jersey to the game. I don't know why. There was really no rhyme or reason for it, but shout out to that guy because I tried to catch up with him. I couldn't find him. It was amazing. I don't understand why he was there and wearing it, but shout out to Skull Nation traveling well to a game that is no purpose whatsoever to us, but loved it.
If you can see a good rivalry game, I don't care who you are, you're going to go see it.
And in case you didn't notice, that game came down to a kick, which we were there for, in an absolute shootout. You see Ben drop 5 bills in that building, which is insane. Watching Antonio Brown in person catch literally everything that's thrown within a 5-yard radius of him is insane.
I can only imagine.
And then watching Bell do his little dance is insane. Like, I can't use the word insane enough because I don't know any other word. I was chanting and cheering more so because Ben Brown and Boswell are on the fantasy team, so that was even better.
Yeah.
And I have to say this, Pad's going to be really ticked, but I tell you what, man, those killer bees are no joke. Like, Heinz Field has got some, like, juju going on in there or something. Power of Juju Smith. I don't know what it is, man, but that building is scary to go into, and I can only imagine the hatred that will be there Sunday afternoon. Because I tell you what, they hated the Ravens, obviously.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, with a game like this and seeing those guys on the field, the composure, going into the fourth quarter thinking, wow, they're going to stumble here and give New England an open door. And then they just, as if they were just starting the game, never even had a doubt. Just like, yeah, we've got this. It's all right.
I mean,
and then Ben's out there just dropping dimes. I'm like,
well, you got the leadership of Tomlin, and Ben's been there before. And that really helps with, not that they have a young team, but it's definitely a different team than what's faced the Patriots in the past.
Yeah.
I mean, Le'Veon Bell is going to be healthy for this time around. I know last season he was kind of dealing with some injuries.
Yes.
So now going into that game, Antonio Brown is going to be ready to rock and roll. And I tell you, it's going to be a true kind of, test of the water, so to speak, of who is going to be running the AFC. Because I think if it goes through Pittsburgh, I don't see him losing.
Yeah.
If it goes to Foxborough, it's going to be a little tougher because just to see if Brady can keep up at his level that he's doing, they should have no problem in getting to the Super Bowl. But you don't know.
Yeah.
And this is going to be the true test to see where everybody is.
I got to say, though, I think the most impressive thing I even saw at that game was, watching it on television. You watch the Steelers, you watch Brown on, SportsCenter Top 10 because he's always making crazy catches or Bell making crazy runs or whatever. Just to see how fast they are is insane. Like, TV does them no justice on how fast they really are and how quickly they get down the field in a hurry. If you've never been to a game, this was actually my first, which was a hell of a game to go to in an absolute shootout between these two. But, man, just to see, like, Brown catch the ball on a slant, and he turns upfield, and, he's gone. In a blink, he's already at the 40, and you're like, well, I mean watching it live watching on TV does no justice for how fast that game truly is. It's insane.
And that's why they're paid professionals, because you could see the skill level difference.
And it's like, we joke about it on TV, and it's like, I can make those catches, I can be a tight end. No.
Yeah.
You cannot. Their tight end is huge.
Yeah.
I am no small man, but he made me feel about 2 inches tall.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God. He's a Penn State product. I'm like, holy crap. Like, I would never front that guy. I am glad to watch them play on Sunday. I will tell you that. Because there's no way in hell I could play that game.
Yeah, if you get a chance to ever go to a game, you got to. I mean, I've been up to the Ralph a couple times.
Yeah.
And it's always a crazy scene up with Bills Mafia.
Yes.
Albeit, I was so glad I did not go this Sunday with the snowstorm that was up there, because I've been through a snowstorm up in Buffalo for a game. And it is a true test of fandom to survive that, because it is very cold, and you kind of...
Getting a foot of snow in 3 hours is insane.
Yeah, it's something that you have to be, like, mentally prepared for. And, I mean, I'm used to it, being from we are the 607. We're used to seeing snow, but nothing like Buffalo snow.
Nothing like 3 feet in a 3 hour period, or a foot of snow in 3 hours.
And let alone, like, just watching that game at home, it was like, wow. Like,
the nice thing was, though, it was very easy from a fantasy standpoint, because you just dump all your receivers and you just start whoever the fourth string guy is, because you know he's going to get like 10 catches, 10 touches, because that's all they're going to do is just turn around, feed it. Frank Gore at 40 had 32 carries in that game.
Yeah,
Shady McCoy had 38.
I don't think there was one holding call in that game. I don't know. I don't know that for fact.
They couldn't even see it. The refs couldn't even see it.
Yeah, I think that game was flying by. And then when they went to overtime, that was absolutely out of control too.
I have to say, I know it's a total side note, but on that game, just watching Shady run through snow made it look like there wasn't even snow on the ground.
Yeah, I know.
That isn't. I will say, I mean, he did that in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
But to see it in Buffalo again, everybody's just like, he's running on like warm grass, because he was just crazy good.
The funniest thing is that I don't know statistically where he ranks, but when it's snow on the ground, he actually is like one of the best running backs, because he's used to playing it. Like, I know he always did well in Philly when it snowed, and now up in Buffalo, like, that is one benefit we have, and I'm hoping for like 3 feet this Sunday. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I'm really hoping so, because I really want to beat Miami, because that is our biggest rival, in my opinion. But We won't get into that. We got to get back into your leap.
So my quick leap, you know what? I thought about it, and I came back from Pittsburgh with no voice for almost 2 days from shouting and just being around that awesome crowd that was down there. And I had a really good rant prepared that I knew I would have to take a couple hours to edit because my leap was the Browns. And damn it, they were in that game, and I'm going to keep this as controlled as I can by simply saying you got what you deserve. And you know what? Thanks for the help in Minnesota because you had them. You let them off the hook. I'm sure. I don't. You know what? I have no words. I don't even want to talk about it. You deserve what you have coming to you. This tanking method is a joke, and that's all I'm going to say because I'm going to have to do a lot of editing if I don't.
Well, I will say this. I watched the game too because where I was watching the game, we had all the TVs going.
Pitiful, embarrassing, humiliating.
Oh, yeah, it is tough because
it's a joke.
Well, no, because you know what? They had them and they should have closed and they did it. Now, I don't know exactly how you fix this problem, but I will say this. I thought Kaiser made a bad choice trying to throw it when he was already in overtime, when he was already dropping back and Clay Matthews was breathing down his neck. Should have just taken the L, take the sack, and then let your defense, who was playing solid, do enough. But
they only gave up 7 going into the fourth of that game.
I know. But it's just, I think it's the team just has to find, I don't know how they're going to do it, but I think they just need to find a way to close. And because when they've been in games like this, they haven't been able to. I'm not sure where it goes. I'm not sure how you do it. They're going to have to kind of regroup for next season. Obviously, this one's a wash. I know they're already talking number 1 pick, and then let's go from there. But Cleveland, it was heartbreaking to see if you're a Browns fan or you sympathize with the Browns. If you don't, I mean, Green Bay, they did what they needed to do. They took advantage of, like I said, when they threw that ball in overtime and it went up like just like a jump ball, it was like, this is going to end badly. And that's when the momentum shifted. You heard the air let out of that stadium, and everybody kind of knew that, we're going to lose this one. We'll see what happens moving forward. I know Aaron Rodgers, everybody's thinking he's coming back.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Cleveland. Oh, he's going to start.
Oh, yeah.
He's made it crystal clear he's going to start.
And then now what happens? Who knows? This is going to be the fun thing about going into the postseason. Let us know what you think. Hit us up on that world-famous hashtag ODPH. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. We're now on iTunes. That's right. The Ocho Duro Parlay Hour is now on iTunes. So download, rate, and subscribe. Spread the word, and thank you for listening to the Ocho Duro Parlay Hour. I'm the street light guiding you home. Avoid the wrong step into dark. Coming back for another segment on the ODPH, and there was one major story that broke this week that Mike C. from I Am Horror could not make it in the show again for, but I would love to hear his take. The Yankees made arguably the biggest offseason move in recent history by getting Giancarlo Stanton out of Miami and into the Bronx. Now, JR, you are a Mets fan.
I am.
What is your thoughts on this?
Okay, so I'm okay. I've got 2 sides on this. One, I laugh that you got him because now he won't leave, and the way Miami structured his contract is that progressively he's going to make even more money. Mm-hmm. So he's going to be like Albert Pujols at 42 and make $40 million because that's the way his contract works. And I love it because he has a no trade clause, so that means you guys are punished, and if he decides he doesn't ever want to leave, you're going to have to pony up the money. The bad thing is he's really good when he's healthy. And I can only think of like Gardner at year 1, Didi at year 2, and then think Judge 3, Stanton 4, or however you want to flip that. Like, oh shoot, like that's really bad. Like that's the good thing is that we only play you 4 times.
Yeah.
To me, I love it. So good for you. For the AL, shoot, man, that's really bad.
It was kind of,
if he stays healthy,
a shock. I will say this: I was genuinely shocked as a Yankees fan that we did it, because I didn't really think that we had a chance to, because we figure, okay, we got Judge, Sanchez, we still had Castro at the time, we were kind of in a younger movement, we really were avoiding going the big money contracts, because obviously we got burnt by a few of them in the past, and the fact that we got him in a short right field and where he could probably hit, I don't know how many home runs. He does strike out a lot. That's what worries me.
But Judge did.
But Judge did too. But you have the reigning NL MVP along with the runner-up AL MVP on the same team. It's not a video game. This is real life. That is absolutely scary for opposing pitchers.
I just think I'm just waiting for the first game. Okay, when you get whoever, I don't know who you open with, but whoever it is, doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go into, say, the ninth down 1, and your opposing pitcher closer comes in and has to face 2, 3, and 4, and you're like, oh crap! Like, who's drawing straws? Like, I'm gonna sit. His shoulder's not feeling real good. I think I'm gonna have to sit this one here quick, coach. I'm not gonna go in for that game because I'm not gonna be the one to give up a bomb. Actually, 2.
Well, that's gonna be the question though.
Or do you start just putting up the 4 sign? Walk them.
Well,
power walk your 3 and 4 batters.
Well, you're going to kind of have to see what kind of team identity you're going to have. And what I mean by that is you have a lot of power in the middle of the lineup. No question of that. I mean, both guys hitting 40-plus home runs this season.
50.
Does
Stanton know how cold it is in April?
I don't know. But
that's one of my questions.
Well,
does he know how cold it is?
He might have a slow start, which I'm fully expecting. As a Yankee fan coming into the Bronx, coming out of a Miami market, it's going to be a definite change.
So I know we've talked about this with Aaron Boone.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, what if Boone and Judge and now Stanton start terrible? Like the whole team's terrible. They're both in slumps. You're like, oh shoot! Like we just need some time to gel.
They're going to need
time. Like I mean,
the problem is though the market they're in is not going to give them the patience to gel.
Nope.
That's the bar is set so high now that it's literally going to be World Series sweep or bust.
Well, and like you said before, it's how do you handle that pressure? I mean, after day 1, if they lose opening day, New York's gonna be in chaos, and you know how that is. New York market has 0 patience.
Yeah, and that's gonna be the problem with that team now.
They lose game 1, they're like, oh my god, they're never gonna make the postseason. Just fire everybody. Like it's game 1.
It's game 1. I mean, that's why they play 162 of them.
Yeah,
and I mean, I like the move. Don't get me wrong. It's just kind of surreal to think that this has actually happened. This is not a video game, but the patience level is going to have to be huge with Yankee fans and the media, and Stanton's going to have to produce. I'm not saying he's got to go on a tear and hit like 13 home runs in 13 days,
right?
But he's going to have to produce, albeit the strikeouts are definitely something to worry about, especially between him and Judge. I'm hoping the Judge is learning how to hit a curveball or breaking ball a little better in the offseason.
This entire offseason, all they're throwing him are curveballs.
Well, that's what they should be.
That's it. Sliders away, curveballs.
Yeah, because that's the one thing that caught Judge. And granted, it was his rookie year in the majors league, and pitchers are going to adapt. And now, how he comes out of the gate is going to be something to watch too, because now the microscope is going to be on him even more.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be on the team. Aaron Boone has no excuses now. I mean, the only thing that they can argue is their pitching. But the Yankees are still talking about adding a few arms here and there. And
6'6" Judge and 6'7" Stanton.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
That is just. It's so hard to wrap your mind around it. You're like, oh my god, is that really your 3-4?
Yeah, and that's and the fact they're not done making moves is the scariest thing. I mean, you got to think the Yankees on paper have to be the odds-on favorite going into the season.
Well, what's this nonsense they're looking at Manny Machado?
That's another thing.
Are you kidding me?
Well, me personally,
luxury tax. Hello.
I'd love to see Manny in there. If I had to choose between Manny or Stanton, I would take Manny. I would legitimately, but I don't see this happening. Even though I want it to happen, don't get me wrong. But I really don't see Baltimore working with the Yanks to give up one of their top 2 franchise guys.
No.
Adam Jones being the other one, to send to your rival. And like you're already telling your fan base, if Baltimore did this, we're waving the white flag on the season.
Right.
I just don't get it. And if you don't think you can sign Manny, send him to another division, send him to the NL. Why would you want to face him and have him light you up with putting up amazing stat line going in there? I mean, granted, if I'm a Yankee fan, I'm hoping we pull this off, but I just don't see it. But if they did, they shouldn't lose a game.
Right.
They should not lose one game.
162-0.
Yeah.
But like you said, I mean, they've criticized everything, like every day off he takes.
Mm-hmm.
And think about it. It's the same thing for both. Every day off that you take for rest or for whatever that you're not producing, everybody in New York is going to be microscopically watching your every move, every decision you make, every game you don't play, every strikeout you have. That's a lot of pressure. I mean, like you said, you go from a market that could care less about you, and be honest. I mean, even when he's hitting that many home runs, could you name 5 people on Miami?
No, actually, I can't.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, no, it flies completely under the radar. So it's like, okay, so if you strike out 200 times, you're in Miami, whatever. You strike out 200 times in New York as the 4 hitter, like Judge did. He's going to fall to 6-7 in the lineup, and then people are going to say, "Where's our money?"
Yeah.
And he has a no trade clause, so he can just give double middle fingers and say, "I'm staying."
Well, Stanton, I think, has a out in 4 seasons. I'm not sure. I want to say there's a player option in there.
Right, but if he says no,
if
you're
he
pulling
says
up
no,
every penny.
But if he says no, but the question is how he's going to handle playing in New York. I mean, you saw when A-Rod signed his big money deal and how he came in and look at that media circus.
Oh, yeah.
Is it going to be the same thing? I don't think so, because it's not like he's signing a huge deal to come to New York. He's coming as a free agent, he's coming via trade.
Contract, yeah.
But we all know what we're getting out of it. You know what you're paying when you sign the contract. And if the Yankees, you're inheriting this and you're fully investing that this guy is going to be one of the cornerstones going on. I mean, like I said, I love the move. I'm just very skeptical that how it's going to play out, because the bar is set so high now. And then if you get Machado out of Baltimore, if they somehow pull this off, which crazier things have happened. Disney bought Fox Studios today.
Yep.
Everything is on, upside down right now. So I don't even know how to kind of fathom this. But if they somehow got Machado out of Baltimore, I mean, and they got him, there's no reason they should lose an extended amount of games ever.
Boone will only coach 1 year.
Yeah, he would need.
If that team doesn't do anything, I mean, you know what? Regardless if Machado gets there, because you don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's
going to happen.
Oh, actually, they're going to get Clayton Kershaw too. No, but it's if they stumble at all with this team and they don't get half as far as they did, he's gone. Like, they're going to have zero patience for Aaron Boone, because like this team was half a step away, and you're telling me you add the MVP to your lineup and now you tank?
Yeah.
See ya.
He'll get ran out of time.
Oh, bye. Oh, yeah. If it's not the market, it'll be the market.
Oh, it will.
The market will have zero patience for that, and he will be gone before the end of the season.
Because if you're given that much talent, you or I could manage, and look how much experience we have at that.
But what are you actually even managing?
Yeah, you just have to go turn in a lineup card.
Yeah, that's all you do is just fill it out, because you're 3-4.
Yeah.
Well, you know guarantee 1, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
The rest of it, you just kind of, okay, here you go.
You just kind of rolled it, just pick names out of a hat and put them in there.
Catcher 8, DH 9.
I mean, but that's going to be the thing. Is like now that they got rid of Chase Headley, he's out in San Diego, so they need to get somebody for third base. I know they have a couple prospects in the minors they could bring up. I think they should, and go from there. But have they addressed their pitching? No. Is that something they should be taking a peek at? Yeah.
CC.
Well, I know CC was talking to LA, I believe, about going out there, but we'll wait and see what happens there. I mean, I think I'd like to see him back in the Bronx just for some veteran leadership, because they do have a lot of young arms. I don't know what's going to happen with Tanaka. I know he's got some arm issues that he's working through, and I'm hoping he's ready to go beginning of the year. And the sky is going to be the limit for the Yanks, but man, they gotta produce, and they gotta produce early and often.
Just the last thing. As a Mets fan, I'm going to give you my perspective, and a lot of people have given flack. I know some close people to me have talked about it, and they're like, "Man, why didn't the Mets make a move?" All right, listen. When was the last time we paid anybody any money?
Yeah,
they refuse to, because they don't want to get burned by a big contract.
No,
look at David Wright.
Absolutely,
they gave a third baseman the most money. They gave him $96 million, and he's played 20 games in 3 years.
Albeit, though, but you can't foresee injuries. But at the time, I would have made that deal.
But they're terrified. You know what I mean? They get burned, and then they get hesitant, and they get scared, and they don't want to give up anything. And they have faith, because they know. I'm sure. I don't know if this would have been the case, but if New York were to have tried to have gotten Stanton, they would have had to have given up a Thor, a Syndergaard, a DeGrom, and there's no way they would have let him go, because they're going to try and keep them all together. It's not going to happen, because when you start waving $400 million around to somebody, forget it. But like if you're telling me DeGrom starts getting, somebody gets an offer for 250, like Zach Greinke kind of money.
Yeah.
Deuces. I'm out of here.
Well,
I'm sorry, but I have to accept the fact that it's probably going to happen because the Mets will not counter offer for that much money. It's not going to happen. They're going to pick one of them and kind of ride it from there.
Well, that's going to be the question going into the offseason next year. I mean, granted, we're already skipping the season, but you don't know. But with the Mets, I can understand why they've been burned. I mean, heck, the Bobby Bonilla contract's always been brought up.
That is the greatest contract ever, by the way.
Yeah.
It is amazing. Like, if you're going to structure your contract that way, that's what you should do. Don't get $400 million now. Get $1 million for 25 years after you're done playing.
Yeah. But
that's the best contract ever.
But I can understand teams being scared of doing big contracts. I mean, the Yanks, heck, I would be scared doing that after the A-Rod deal and the Ellsbury deal.
Ellsbury.
Like I say, like for me personally, I wouldn't sign anybody longer than 5 years. And then reevaluate.
One of my favorites, and all Mets fans know, the Jason Bay deal.
Oh, yeah.
He was really good. He flirted with like 140 batting average.
I
mean, granted, it's injuries again, but still, I mean, expectations, not MVP, but at least something to produce, and then you're just flatline, and it's like, oh, dude, not the market to come to in flatline. Like that is, you get chased right out of town.
Well, that's what I say with the Yanks. The expectation meter is through the roof. And if they don't produce early and often, for a team that was one game away from the World Series, to falter anything less is unheard of. And if they keep reloading with the all-star talent, if they somehow pull off Manny Machado and they don't get there, I do not want to be watching New York media for a while.
I am just terrified to think that if they can even produce what they did this year or close, to think that you could get 100 home runs out of your 3 and 4 hitters alone, yikes.
Yeah.
It's almost like when the Yankees went and got Stanton, to me it almost feels like, I mean, it's not what they're doing, but it's kind of like in basketball, it's like with Golden State. It's like they're stockpiling. Like you just know, like Yankees, Dodgers. Like they've got to be bound for, an old school World Series because, like I said, you get the Dodgers who spent all that money.
Yeah.
And you've got Darvish who completely choked.
Yeah.
Cost them a World Series. I mean, I'm just saying, would you not agree?
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, he pitched 3 innings in the World Series in 2 games because he couldn't get out of the second.
Yeah.
In both. I mean, that's pitiful. So, you call it a choke job or whatever, but it's like you feel like the way the Yankees are stockpiling and the way the Dodgers did too, where it's just like they don't even care about money. It's like, yeah, whatever, just $500 million, whatever it takes to get them here. And they just start loading up big. It's like they have to be bound to meet in the World Series.
Well, I think in the Dodgers standpoint is, we want to go invest in the team and really bring some prestige back to the Dodgers organization. With the Yanks, I think they're going back to old school basics where it's like, you know what, we got to winning or nothing. And they're now showing they're not afraid of the big money spending, that they're getting away from the farm system, which I don't personally like because I think
it works.
No, I'm a big proponent of it. I'm not one that is very big about, okay, let's go out and spend $300 million on somebody. Why? If you can get somebody that can produce more, that hits 300, you don't need 300 home runs. You need a guy that's going to hit 300 the entire season, and you'd be all right. But that being said, I do like the Stanton move. I'm just skeptical, and I'm waiting to see what happens. But with them reloading, they're going to be downright scary, and I can't wait for the season.
Just think at the end of the year too, you can pay Bryce Harper $500 million. And then there's your 2, 3, then there's your 3, 4, and 5 guys.
No interest in that. None.
Then you get $500 million there. You've got 320 or 270 tied up in Harper or in Stanton, and then you've got to pay Judge. So shoot, there's your 3, 4, 5 guys, or 2, 3, 4, 5.
The minute I heard $500 million on a contract, I tuned out, and I'm like, no way. I don't even want to hear it.
You're gonna see it, man.
I know I'm gonna see it.
If he has a good year this year, you're gonna see it.
But you know what?
Or it's gonna be pretty darn close.
And you know who will probably pay it? It will be the Chicago Cubs, because I know he wants to go there now too. Which, you know what? I could see it happen. Granted, I can't see any team realistically paying it, but somebody's gonna do it. I'm not saying it's going to be the Cubs, but I'm saying some team is going to pay $500 million. I hope it's not the Yankees. I hope it's not the Yankees. It could be the Mets. I'm just hoping it's not the Yankees. But we'll see, because that's where I think Harper winds up in Chicago. That's my opinion. But let us know what you think. What's your thoughts on the Stanton deal? Do you like it? Do you hate it? If you're a Yankee fan, are you all in this season? If you're a Yankee hater, are you saying this is going to be the sign of the times? Let us know. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Talk a little UFC.
It's a heartbreak soul-shaped radio Hey, this is Vince, the Common Man Seattle, a local MMA fighter, telling you to keep on listening to the ODPH, the 607's up-and-coming newest podcast.
We knew right where we'd be, floating on the airwaves you see. It's a heartbreak, soul-shake radio attack, taking 4 steps forward and no steps back. We knew right where we'd be.
Coming back from the break here on the ODPH, we're going to be talking a little UFC. In case you didn't know, let's just take a little trip back down memory lane here. We had the return of GSP,
Yeah, we did.
and he fought Michael Bisping,
Yes, he did.
and he beat him,
Yeah, he did.
and I called it,
You did.
and he recently declared some interesting news.
He's vacated the title. I know he's got some injuries going on that he has some issues doing.
I mean, that cut was no joke.
No,
I mean, that fight with Bisping was no slouch.
no. Bisbing gave him all he could handle, and and GSP has even said too. He goes, he's probably hit me the hardest I think I've been hit in my years in the UFC. But GSP, I know, had a difficult weight cut going for it. Well, to fight up at 185, I mean, you've been fighting at 170 for so long. I knew there was going to be kind of some issues. I'm not exactly sure what the health issues are. I'm hoping he's going to be healthy. He's going to be okay.
Yeah.
I mean, not wishing anything bad on him in any way, shape, or form. But I know he's vacated the title. I know that Robert Whittaker is now going to be considered the undisputed 185 champion.
How pissed is Bisping?
I don't think he's mad at all.
I think he's got to be a little pissed.
No, because I think
Like his whole world has come crashing down. He lost to GSP. He took a fight on short notice and got knocked out in the first round. And now it's like, and he's like, he went from number 1 champion, and now he's.
Well, the thing about Biz, if I may just give my opinion on this, I think that he knew after his title run, whenever it was going to end, that was pretty much going to be the pinnacle of his career. And then he's been in the fight game for so long, and he's always put on entertaining fights. I am one of the biggest Bisping fans going. I think that he just kind of realized, you know what? I had my good run. I'm doing commentating now. When I lose the belt, I want to go out on my own terms. I know he's trying to get on the card in London that they have coming up next year, and that'll probably be the swan song. I don't think he's that mad at all because he got beat outright by GSP, and he just lost. He lost to a better fighter that night. No, there's nothing to hang his head on. And if you want to say about the belt, well, if they really wanted to, argue about the belt, you could have. If you really wanted to stretch the issue, he could have been like, I should be in a title contender match.
Right.
But
to take over for the interim belt, yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? He took a fight on short notice, helping everybody out to save the card with Kelvin Gastelum, and Kelvin beat him outright. Kelvin knocked him out. And, that kind of eliminates that because you take away the GSP fight, let's say his next fight was against Kelvin, and he would have lost his title that night. It's just a matter of he got beat by a better fighter in GSP. I'm not afraid to say that. And I will say GSP was the better fighter that night.
So if Bisping's not pissed, Dana White's got to be furious.
Dana's got to be. If anybody's going to be mad about the situation, it's got to be Dana because you really made special accommodations to give GSP a title. And now that GSP has to vacate it, at least there was kind of a backup plan because you knew Robert Whittaker was due to come back from injury and go in there and get the belt and, to do a unification bout. You knew that was going to come down the pike, and at least now you can go, okay, well, Whittaker's here, and now you got Luke Rockhold going to go fight him next year. At least that's not as messy as like when, Conor is still kind of holding up your division.
Oh, he wants half the UFC.
Yeah, that, and the other, and it's like, at least with GSP, it's like, well, you kind of knew what was going to happen, and you're kind of going, well, if he was out of the equation, at least we have a quick backup plan. We can go fix that.
Oh, absolutely.
And, I mean, that'll be an entertaining fight. I mean, I got to say Rockhold is going to win, but you know what? Every time I go against Whittaker, he winds up pulling something out, and he'll probably win that fight, which is not a bad thing. Whittaker has surprised me in every single fight I think I've seen him in, so that'll be entertaining when that happens.
I think the most exciting news, though, is not the GSP vacating. Not that that's exciting, but in exciting news, I believe somebody's coming back next year. A rumor has it, which means someone may die. Literally may die.
Well, We don't know when Cain Velasquez is officially coming back, but I know news has leaked out that he is training again. He's finally getting healthy to start competing.
But if he comes back,
the last time he came back off injury, he just absolutely destroyed Bigfoot Silva in that. Like I still vividly remember when he tore through Bigfoot Silva, and it wasn't anything nice. Like Cain is an absolute beast when he's in the cage.
Insert any Game of Thrones reference. Insert any.
Yeah, you can't even go there. And granted, there is a title match coming up with Stipe Miocic and Francis Ngannou, and if it's Ngannou versus Cain, not saying that
A healthy Cain,
that might be one of the most hardest hitting contests we have ever seen.
that could be UFC card of the year in early 2018.
In theory,
if he comes back.
In
that
theory,
fast.
yeah. I mean, granted, Miocic is still the champion, and Miocic is going to have a heck of a time with the number one contender. Not saying it's going to be done, but I tell you what, Ngannou looks absolutely unstoppable right now.
Who is okay? So with Velasquez, the rumors possibly getting ready to come back in 2018 at some point. Who's his first fight? Does he get title defense? Does he get automatic shot right at the title? Does he have to fight the loser?
I would
first?
I would put him against the loser of that title match. I mean, that would make sense to me.
Right. Have it not be your like John Jones tomato can, but I mean, instead of giving him an automatic fight at the title, you have him face the loser. Winner of that fight gets rematched for title.
I think it all depends on the injuries. I think
Agreed.
I think that if everybody comes out of there, medically cleared to fight whenever they can, I think you put him against the loser and you let him go for the number one contendership. Like if that's,
and then you can have him fight for the title.
Yeah.
End of 2018 or whenever he comes back and all that fun.
But if somebody gets hurt,
right,
you plug him right in. I think you do it without any hesitation.
Well, you know that we would definitely have that card.
Oh yeah, we'll be watching.
Any card with Velasquez, instant sell.
Yeah, any card with Cain Velasquez, we will be watching because he is just absolutely amazing to watch in the cage.
If you have never seen a fight of Velasquez, it is a combination of chiclets,
yes,
parts, pieces, sometimes his own.
He is an absolute beast. And like I said, you can go YouTube or however you watch your MMA action. Find when he destroyed Brock Lesnar. Find when he absolutely tore through Bigfoot Silva and just.
And I know it's touchy, but that's like go watch one of his fights and then realize that even with this whole thing with John, there would never have been a chance. Like that's a fight you don't ever want to take. When he called out Velasquez and you're like, go watch his old stuff. That's a fight you don't ever like. Nobody in their right mind wants to fight Velasquez as it is.
No,
because that's like no.
I mean,
you're gonna wake up hurting.
No,
Sunday morning.
I just thought if you needed to, you put him against Alistair Overeem.
Fair enough.
I could see that, and you know what? I still would worry about Alistair because Cain coming back off injury.
You could probably even headline that card.
Without
a doubt, because Velasquez return. I mean,
that's a headliner.
Sold.
That's a headliner.
It's for absolutely nothing. A 3-round fight, but it would sell.
Yeah.
Just to see how good Velasquez looks in a warm up, and then when you see him like in a fist of rage rip the microphone from Joe Rogan and then just go on his ramp. Oh my God. It'll be awesome.
That'll be amazing.
He may keep it subtle. No.
It depends. It depends. If somebody is foolish enough to call him out, he's going to go handle business.
If the champion's in the building, he'll grab the mic, he'll look at him and be like, I'll see you later, sweetheart. I'll see you in like 4 months.
I think he'll walk in and he'll square up. And that's the only thing. He'll just be like, I'm coming.
I'm ready.
And he'll just walk out of the cage. And that's all he needs to do because he is Cain Velasquez.
Because he's going to see him out of the corner of his eye. He's going to look at him and he's going to be like, I'm coming for you. And then he's going to make his little 3-round match embarrassing. He's going to run through whoever it is just to prove a point and say, this is what you got coming. I'm going to get my title. I'm going to get my belt. The scariest man alive.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see when Cain comes back. And like I said, I know they're announcing the heavyweight title fight along with Cormier and Volkan for the light heavyweight title.
In other news, though, there is an exciting card with Robbie Lawler that's free. The card is not necessarily exciting. However, as Ken has discussed in other previous shows with Padawan J and the Common Man, Robbie Lawler is only a little crazy.
I will say
but always puts on a good show.
Robbie always shows up, and to see his rise from where he was a few years ago and, really working his way back up to now one of the most complete fighters in UFC, dare I say MMA. Robbie is just an absolute beast him in his own right, and he will stand there, he will scrap, he shows no fear of anybody. Rafael Dos Anjos is his opponent at 170. They're going to be fighting on Fox this weekend. On the main card is 8 o'clock. Check your local listings where you're watching. It's 8 o'clock on the East. That card is going to be a solid one for free TV. But Robbie versus Rafael Dos Anjos, you got to think it's possibly a title contender bout. If Rafael wins, I think you have to give it to him. But Robbie is a tough day any day you face him in the cage. Any day. I do like Robbie in this, though. I think as long as he can, really withstand Dos Anjos' offense, he's got a really good shot of winning this. And anytime that a fighter is going up, because, Rafael did used to fight at 155, and he was title champion there, to move up in a weight class, and he's been looking very good. But Robbie has been there before. He's been in some battles with you name it in his entire MMA career. This is no easy task for either fighter, rather. And to see this coming down on TV Saturday is going to be a real treat. I'm going to take Lawler if I got to make a lock. Not a lock, but a prediction. Who you got?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Lawler. He's just a little crazy, and he's one of those guys who would do whatever it takes to win, not in any sort of cheating or anything like that, but he's just that he finds a way to get it done. And I like it. I'm thinking it's good. And for free, why not tune in? Check it out.
Absolutely. Anytime you get a chance to watch a UFC card, wherever you can watch it, you should check it out.
Absolutely.
And any MMA card, because, hey, it's great. We're going to take a quick break, come back with the local minute, and you're listening to the ODPH. Back for the final segment of this week's ODPH. Make sure to hit us up on the social media. Let us know what you're thinking of the show. Give us your opinions, because now we got to talk about a little local minute sports here. And JR, you got a little hockey news for us?
Well, it's not good news. The Binghamton Devils are continuing to struggle. They lost last night, and they lost on Saturday. The game that you were at, actually, to put their record at 8-13 and not very good.
Yeah. No, Devils got some work cut out for him. I know that, Saturday night was a little rough game for him in front of the home crowd. But they're due to start turning around no better time than this weekend when the Bellevue Senators come into town, Ottawa's AHL affiliate, our former team. So it's going to be a little bittersweet moment, I guess, at the game.
There's going to be some good passion in the building.
There should be. I think the Devils crowd is going to get very loud for this. I know that this one has been circled on many Devils fans' calendars since the announcement of the schedule. So we're hoping that we pull the W off and get back on the winning track for our local Binghamton Devils.
Don't be afraid to get that old Sens gear out, too. Let them know if we still show them that love.
Absolutely. No, there's nothing wrong. I mean, hey, it's a business, but we still have AHL hockey in the 607, and we are very thankful for that.
Absolutely. How about those Binghamton Bulldogs, though, big guy?
Bulldogs are finally back in town. I am excited for this. I'm going to try making it down to the game. They got the Reading Wizards coming back into town to avenge the loss they had a couple weeks ago, because Reading beat the Bulldogs in double overtime, 142-138. So they're finally home. The game is going to be at Seton Catholic Central. $10 for the tickets, 7 o'clock start time, Saturday, December 16th. Go check your Binghamton Bulldogs out. You can go find more information on binghamtonbulldogs.com.
My question is, because you and the coach continue to go to these games, they've broken the backboard and the shot clock. So what's going to get broken this time in that poor building with the Bulldogs come rumbling into town?
I'm hoping some scoring records for the Bulldogs to pull off the W, because the games are very fun to go see. If you haven't gotten a chance to go see it, you should go check it out. Bulldogs are always a fun time to go see. We're going to be closing the show as we always do with our locks and leaps. Make sure to hit us up on the social media. Let us know what you're picking this week for the NFL. Coach Duffy and Padawan are going to be turning theirs in on the website as well, but we are in studio here. JR, why don't you lead us off? Who you got this week?
Alrighty. So I got my locks down. I feel like I'm in a good vibe here. Got my last couple in a row. And I went to see them, so that made it even better. This game I will not be seeing. However, I will be watching, tuning in very intently. I'm going to go, I got to take it because it's the clincher. I'm going to take Minnesota to just lay the wood to Cincinnati to clinch because Coach Zimmer, if you didn't catch that Panthers game, was pissed at the defense for giving up as many runs untouched as they did to that Carolina offense. Brian Rhodes, I didn't look at my phone. That's the answer to the question. No, I did not look at my phone as you were blowing it up with GIFs and annoying Panthers jargon.
Shout out to the Bry Guy signal.
Anyway, no, I was not watching. But I think they're just going to come in. They're at home after a 3-game road stretch here. Welcome those Minnesota fans with an NFC North title, which is certainly going to be awesome for me. It's certainly awesome for those folks up in Minnesota. So that's my ultimate lock. My leap, only because I know I'm taking a stab at a friend of mine, my best man. He's going to be really upset about this, but I'm going to take the Giants at home. And I've got no faith. I'm sorry, but I'm off the Eagle train because Pennsylvania has left the building, man. And mass panic has ensued. And until they prove otherwise, I think right here's a stumble. Because rivalry games are never any good, as Patriots fans found out. And with a lot on the line right here, a couple of different reasons. One, Minnesota takes over number 1, so of course I'm pulling for the Giants. I've got an Eli Manning jersey on. I will be doing that. I'll be wearing a jersey. I got to actually get with Coach to get a jersey. I'm sure he's got a couple, maybe not in my size, but I'll be wearing one in spirit. So I'm going to take the at-home Giants and the Eli Manning arm against the Pennsylvania-less Eagles.
It's going to be interesting to see with that one because Nick Foles is no stranger to Philadelphia, a very ample number 2 to lead that offense. But you're right. I mean, rivalry games, you never know what's going to happen.
I mean, they've got to win because Minnesota's going to clinch, as I said in my lock, and I'm not wrong with those locks. So they are going to be.
Listen to this guy. Listen to this guy.
Well, listen, I'm excited. We got a North title on the line. But like I said, for whatever reason, I don't know. I'm afraid. I mean, their defense is no joke. Don't get me wrong. But again, on the road, Sunday, they know that Minnesota's breathing down their neck, and we own the tiebreaker over both them and the Rams. So we win. We get number 1, at least for now. So I'm in. I'm all in, baby. Go Giants.
All right, for my locks, I think I'm actually going to give 2 since Padawan and Coach are not here.
Oh, I should have taken a second one.
You still got time if you want to sweep one. But I'm going to do this because my official lock is those Los Angeles Superchargers over the falling and I don't know where they're going to end up Kansas City Chiefs. Phillip Rivers and company are playing at an elite level right now. They're making a push for the playoffs. Kansas City, you don't know what you're going to get every week now. And I honestly thought that they'd be playing a lot better or turn the ship around and get back on the winning track. It hasn't really seen too much to give me that hope yet.
No, they're like that team. They're like that guy in a race who is like stumbling to the finish and he's like keeps losing his grip when he's trying to stand up. Like they're stumbling to the end of this title race and it's not looking good.
No, absolutely not. But the Chargers are getting hot at the right time. If they stay healthy, they're going to make a lot of noise in the playoffs. My second lock, it's rivalry game for Buffalo, and I'm taking the Bills all day over Miami.
In 3 feet of snow?
I don't get 3 feet of snow, 3 feet of grass, 3 feet of water.
Jay Cutler?
I'm not worried about Jay Cutler. I am not at all. No, I don't know who our quarterback is going to be.
Playoff berth is on the line here, man.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. We got to win out.
Circle those wagons.
Who else circles better because we got New England coming up in another week. I am very well aware of that, so we got to win now. So that is my unofficial lock of the week because I will always take Buffalo over Miami. Hey, I'm just a Bills fan, so this is what I do. And my leap, which JR might give me a high five about, Aaron Rodgers is coming back. He's supposed to be back this week. I am not scared. Neither is Cam Newton. I am going to take Carolina over Green Bay.
That is what I'm talking about.
I think Cam is going to make their final playoff push for whatever good it's going to do.
They need the win.
They do need to win.
They're still in the hunt there for the division title, so got to get a win.
Yeah, and especially with how the NFC South has been playing. I mean, that's up for grabs unless you're Tampa Bay. So I think Cam is going to have a very big game. I'm hoping he does for fantasy reasons, but I'm just thinking he's going to do it overall. And with Aaron Rodgers coming back, I mean, it's a gutsy move for him to do. I can understand, he wants to get back out there and play. But you always got to wonder with that kind of injury, are you coming back too soon? Is it something maybe you should take more time on? I am not a doctor, so I don't know. But we'll see what happens coming back. You don't know what you're going to get just yet. But I tell you, I like the Panthers right now. I think they're playing at a high level, and I think that they know where their playoffs stand, and they know they got to definitely make a statement with this one. Let us know what you think. So on behalf of the Sound Guy Galore, JR, who's representing Skull Nation this weekend as only he can.
Listen, man, get those jerseys out loud and proud. I will also be switching back and forth with commercials between my Teddy Bridgewater jersey and my Eli Manning jersey from the coach.
Absolutely. Shout out to Coach Duffy and Padawan Jay as well. We're hoping we'll have them back in studio next week. I am your host, Ken M. Thank you for listening to another edition of the Ocho Duro Parlay Hour. We'll see you next time.
Instead of making promises in the dark, why don't we just play our part? 'Cause I'm all alone and you're all alone tonight. Act like lovers, but we're not even friends. You can see the end, but it feels good to pretend. Open this time, won't live another